Hello, fellow colleagues, parents, guardians, students. My name is Miss Stanley, and today I will be discussing the role of the special education teacher. But before we get started, I wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself. First of all, I am a special education teacher. I've been one for over 12 years now. I can say that I enjoy teaching the students with disabilities. I have a passion for it. I'm dedicated to it. And I wake up every day with a willpower to go to work just to see my students' faces. So let's discuss being a special education teacher. To be a special education teacher, there are some things you got to have in place before you can even start. And that is, you got to have an undergraduate degree, first and foremost. So go to school and get your degree. And then once you get that undergraduate degree, you can phase over and take your courses for your special education certification. Prior to getting that certification, you do need to go through a background check, criminal check, fingerprinting, but you also afterwards have to take a mandated state test called the MTTC test. You have to pass that test in order to get your licensure to even teach special education. So now, let's fast forward. Now you have all of the credentials. So now you're in the school setting, ready to teach students with disabilities. Now, you just can't teach them. There's a process, and this is the process. First of all, you have to be willing to want to work with those with challenges. If you're not willing to do that, may not be the position for you. You have to have the energy to move, because you never know. You might have to run after them. You may have to duck. You may encounter some things. And if you're not prepared mentally, you won't be equipped to do this job. Also, you have to have the dedication, because you may have some long days where you have to stay late, come in early, do this and do that. And if you're not dedicated and you want that typical 9 to 3 job where you leave at 3, this may not be the position for you. But if that's not you, and you have a passion and you love working with students with disabilities, you love seeing the smiles on their face, you're dedicated, then this is for you. So let's give you the steps. Prior to you coming in, we put an infographic on every chair. You should have picked it up. Please, let's take a look at it, because I'm getting ready to go over it and give you the guidelines for being a special education teacher. On that infographic, you see the first step is we have to get a referral. We have to have a referral for the student to even come into the school. Once we look over the referral, because in that referral, we learn about the disabilities. We learn about the traits. We learn about pretty much what goals they were doing previous to when they came to us. So the referral is the first step. Then we create an invitational meeting. That's where we meet the parents, we meet the guardians, and staff. We sit around and we talk and we discuss the child. After we do that, the special education teacher creates something called an IEP, which is an individualized education plan. That's where we're working out a plan as far as how are we going to teach this student. What goals are we going to set? What accommodations? Because see, with a special need, you got to have accommodations. If the child has a hearing deficit, you got to be able to have hearing aids. If the child need a calculator to do math, you got to make sure he or she is accommodated with a calculator. So there's some things we have to put in place as far as accommodations. Now, we've got the IEP written. Now, we meet the child. We can't have an effective IEP if we don't know who the child is. So now we meet the child. We learn their behaviors. We learn their characteristics. We learn about the child. After we've met the child, we do something called progress monitoring, because now we've created the IEP. So we've set goals, we've set curriculum, we've set accommodations. Now we need to make sure that the student is able to meet the goals that we set. So we got to progress them. You can progress them every week, every 2 weeks. It's up to you. But progress monitor them, mean observe. Make sure they're learning what you're teaching. Because every year we come back together, the parents, the guardian, the staff, the general education teacher, the special education teacher, and we talk. We discuss the progress. We discuss whether or not they're meeting, whether or not we need to back up and readjust something. We talk about whether or not they're advanced and maybe we need to change the goal. So we come together as an entity and we go over the IEP, we go over the progress, and we determine whether or not we need to continue to teach the child the goals that they're at or whether or not we need to readjust the goals. So the process is once we do all of that and after we've had the annual meeting, we continue to teach the child up until it's time for the child to graduate. So basically, the end result is that you want the child to meet their academic needs and be successful. You want to hold everybody accountable as far as making sure that they're compliant, accommodating the child, and you want to make sure that you're setting the child up for success and not failure. So if this sounds like something you're willing to do, you're dedicated to do, you're passionate to do, you want to do it, then sign up.